In this lecture, we'll program the Finalize Auction function that is called when the auction ends or if it has been cancelled. So function Finalize Auction. And our function is public. So this function can be called only if the auction has been cancelled or if it ended. So we require that auction state is equal to state.cancelled or block.number, this is the current block, is greater than the end block. This means the auction ended. If any test is true, so this one or this one, the entire expression evaluates to true. And function continues executing. We don't have to wait for the owner to finalize the auction. If the auction has been cancelled or ended, any bidder that sent ether to our auction can finalize the auction. So we require that msg.sender, so the account that calls this function, is equal to the owner, or bids of msg.sender is greater than 0. Bids of msg.sender greater than 0 means that this bidder, the msg.sender, has already bid. So he's a bidder. And now we'll calculate the address that receives the funds and what value does that address receive. So we'll declare another local variable of type address named recipient and an uint variable named value. Now we have two possibilities. The auction has been cancelled and everybody requests his own funds, or the auction ended and the owner receives the highest binding bid. If the auction has been cancelled, this means if auction state is equal to state.cancelled, everyone requests his own funds. So recipient equals msg.sender and value equals bids of msg.sender. Else, this block of code will execute only if the auction ended. So ended, not cancelled. If the auction is finalized by the owner receives the highest binding bid. So if msg.sender is equal to the owner, recipient equals owner, and value equals highest binding bid. Else, this is not the owner, but a bidder requests his funds. Here we also have two possibilities. If this is the highest bidder, that bidder requests the difference. So for example, let's take a look here. The highest bidder, this address, has bid 140, but the highest binding bid is only 65. So my bidder must request the difference from 140 and 65 because the selling price, the auction price, is only 65. It's not 140. So back to our contract, we check if msg.sender is the highest bidder. And if this is true, then the recipient is the highest bidder and the value is the difference between the amount he bid and the highest binding bid. So bids of highest bidder, the amount he bid, minus highest binding bid. Else, this is neither the owner nor the highest bidder. Neither the owner nor the highest bidder. So it's one of the bidders. In this case, the recipient is the bidder, so msg.sender, the account that calls this function, and the value is what that account bid. So bids of msg.sender or recipient is the same. Now I'll transfer this value to this recipient. Be careful with these curly braces because there are many curly braces and we must write the code where we should. This is the contract level curly brace and this is the function curly brace. So I'll write the code here. Recipient dot transfer of value. This line transfers this value to this recipient. Maybe it's a little bit complicated. We have many if-else statements, but if you take it step by step, you can easily understand what it happens. On my GitHub repository, I'll extensively comment this function line by line. That's all. In the next section, we'll test this function. See you there.